This is a 151. It is, in point of fact, a very famous 151, one of the best that has come out, and that's the Lemon Hart 151. This was issued around 2011, 2012. The 151 refers to its strength in American terms. It's 75.5% proof, and it is made by a company called Lemon Hart. That's actually not true, though. I'm actually lying when I say that. It's the brand name nowadays. It isn't actually made. Lemon Hart doesn't really exist. It's simply the name that is slapped on a label. The original Lemon Hart was a gentleman who created a blending business in Cornwall in the UK in the 1700s, and then got a contract to supply Royal Navy rums in 1804, according to company legend. So he moved his company into London and he started doing this whole thing. So the company existed for a very long time and supplied all sorts of rums to the Navy. We could go into what actually a Navy rum is, and many people think that it's either all Guyana because of a rum like this, or it's just a few islands in the Caribbean. But the truth is that the Navy always took rums from all over the map, including Australia, Mauritius, South Africa, a plethora of Caribbean islands, and so on. So the blend kind of varied over time, except that the joke goes that they didn't really like Jamaicans that much, they started to discontinue that part of the blend. Be that as it may, Lemon Hart actually did produce other rums aside from 151s. They produced their Navy style rums, they produced a Jamaican. I actually have a 1973 or 1970s Jamaican in my Romaniac section that you could take a look at if you'd like. So the thing is that by the 1980s or thereabouts, in a wave of consolidation, Pernod Ricard got the brand, right? I'm not quite sure how that worked, but they did. And they were having trouble putting together the necessaries to get the blends together, and they sold it on to another company called Mosaic. Mosaic changed the label. The label never used to be this red thing. It used to be yellow with black and perhaps occasionally green highlights and so on. And you can still find those, and nowadays actually it's gone back to that, right? This doesn't exist anymore, at least not this way. You could probably still find it because 151s don't really sell that well, but at the same time, the sort of red labeling and the Mosaic, yeah, I think that's gone now. I'm actually not sure who owns the company now. I should check, and I'll get back to you and put it in the show notes. Now, the question is, how does it smell? Well, at 151, yeah, this fucker's badass. It's completely badass. It completely tries to take over and claw your face off if you're not careful. Just let it sit for a while, as I have, and it will kind of settle down, and it'll always be strong, it'll always be sharp, and it seems to be fairly young. I would suggest anywhere between 2 and 5 years. We were never told the exact composition here, but what you're getting is something that screams Port Morant, at least to me, right? It's definitely wooden still in there, and the bottle does actually say it's completely from Guyana nowadays. It's not from Jamaica. There isn't anything else in there, which may be how Mosaic got around the sourcing problem, because they just went to share and probably picked up whatever the hell they wanted. Now, what you're getting here is licorice. You're getting molasses, caramel, you're getting a fair amount of leather, smoke, all the traditional flavors that you associate with Guyanese wooden still rums. That hasn't gone away. It really is kind of nice. Simple, but effective. And the taste, when you taste it, pretty much the same. There's a little bit extra in there. There's some cloves and some baking spices. That's absolutely perfectly worth it. I would suggest that for people who are not used to very strong rum, some water to dilute this thing down might be a good idea. Otherwise, just be gentle with it. You don't, in my original review, I did kind of make some jokes about how strong it was. It still is. It's just that I've gotten more used to that kind of rum nowadays, and therefore I am a little bit easier with drinking something of this kind of savagery. Not everybody will be, so just take it easy, but do enjoy it. I'm not sure how cube of ice or any nonsense like that would do it. And yes, of course, you could put it into your cocktails that call for 151s. That's essentially why they were made, aside from the whole Hudson's Bay Company cold freezing stuff. But it's a good rum. It's still very nice. And the modern iteration, which has gone back, as I said, to the yellow label that you can still find around the place, is no slouch either. Now, I don't know what's in that one, but I know for this one, if you can find this on some back bar or in some old rum shop somewhere where they're still selling and they never managed to sell out the red label stuff, it's absolutely worth your time. It really is a very nice, cheap Guyanese rum that gives you 2 shots for the price of 1. I mean, you really can't beat that, can you? No. So that's it for today. I do hope you enjoy this rum if you ever find it, and if you disagree or you have anything to add to this, please leave a comment in the commentary section and let me know what you think. Otherwise, have a good time, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.